I'm so glad you're back again, and I'm so glad I'm back again. I have a nice little story today. It's one that I heard a long time ago, but you know what's even nicer? The story is even older than I am. It's kind of like an Aesop fable, but it isn't. It's not by Aesop, and it's just an old story from Greece. You know, they had a lot of Greek gods. I'm sure you've heard about Hercules. Well, there are a lot of other ones. Here we go. You ready? Okay. Midas was a king of great fortune. He had everything a king could wish for. He lived in luxury in a great castle. He shared his life of abundance with his beautiful daughter. Even though he was very rich, Midas thought his greatest happiness was provided by gold. His avarice was such that he used to spend his days counting his gold coins. Occasionally, he used to cover his body with gold objects, as if he wanted to bathe in them. Money was his obsession. One day, Dionysus, in repayment for the king's kindness, offered him the opportunity to accept any wish he wanted. Midas thought for a while, and then he thought for a while. And then he said, "I wish that everything I touch would turn into gold." Dionysus warned the king to think well about this wish, but Midas was positive. Dionysus could do nothing else, and promised the king that from the following day everything he touched would turn into gold. The next day, Midas woke up, eager to see if his wish would become true. He extended his arm and touched a small table that immediately turned into gold. He jumped up and down in happiness. Then he touched a chair, the carpet, the door, his bathtub, another table, and then he went running all over the palace until he got exhausted and happy at the same time. He sat at the table to have his breakfast and took a rose between his hands to smell its fragrance. When he touched it, the rose became gold. "Oh, I will have to absorb the fragrance without touching the roses, I suppose," he thought, and he put the rose back. Without even thinking, he took a grape to eat, but it also turned into gold. The same thing happened with his slice of toast and his glass of water. Suddenly, he started to feel afraid. Tears filled his eyes, and at that moment, his beloved daughter walked into the room. Midas jumped up and hugged her, and she turned into gold. A little gold statue of his beautiful daughter. Despaired and fearful, he raised his arms and said, "Please, Dionysius, please, take this curse away from me." Dionysus the god heard Midas and felt sorry for him. He told Midas to go to the river and to wash his hands. Midas did so. He ran to the river, and all the while he washed his hands, he was astonished to see gold flowing from his fingers. When he returned home, everything he had touched had gone back to normal again. Midas hugged his daughter in full happiness and decided he was going to share his great fortune with all his people. From then on, Midas became a better person, generous and grateful for all the goods he had in his life. Can you imagine that? I touch my mug, ping, and it turns into gold. And I touch my pencil, pong, and it turns into gold. And I touch my phone, ping, and I touch my lamp, and I touch the balloon. Oh. What a mistake. He probably should have listened to Dionysus, don't you think? before accepting the gift. That might have been a better idea. Do you agree? So, we talked about wishes before. Wishes are tricky things, aren't they? We wish something and then we realize, oh, every wish has like a second side to it. A bit like a penny. Heads or tails? What do you choose? Anyway, always something to think about. Yeah? Okay. Now, run outside, do something really, really, really active for 10 minutes, like jumping up and down on the trampoline, because it's not going to turn into gold, is it? Okay, I love you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.